I wasn't surprised when they didn't invite me. What surprised me was how easy it was to say, okay, no argument, no follow-up question. Just that one word, sent as a reply to a message that wasn't even written like an apology. We're keeping Christmas small this year. That's how they phrased it. Like space had suddenly become limited. Like I hadn't already been standing on the edge of things for years. I knew what it meant. They knew, I knew. No one clarified. Growing up, it wasn't loud. That's the part people don't understand. There were no dramatic fights, no scenes, just a quiet, consistent comparison. My sister was the standard. I was the explanation. She's focused. He's figuring things out. At some point, figuring things out became permanent, then it became something else. Loser didn't come out of nowhere. It just replaced softer words that had been pointing in the same direction all along. Christmas Day, I stayed home. I made something simple to eat, watched something I didn't care about. Not as a statement, just because I didn't feel like turning it into anything symbolic. There were moments where I expected anger to show up, or sadness in a sharper way, but mostly it was quiet. And in that quiet, something shifted slightly. Not a realization, just distance, enough to see things without immediately reacting to them. They didn't reach out that day. My sister posted pictures, the usual kind, decorated table, coordinated outfits, captions about family. I didn't look long. A few weeks later, she called, not texted. Called, that alone told me the conversation had a purpose. I almost didn't answer. Then I did. Her tone was normal, casual even. She asked how I'd been, I answered. Short, polite. We moved through the surface of a conversation neither of us was invested in. Then she got to it. I'm planning to apply for a program, she said. It's expensive. I waited. I was thinking maybe you could help out. Just part of it. There it was. No acknowledgement of Christmas, no mention of the distance. Just a request placed into the same dynamic that had always existed, as if nothing had changed. I didn't respond right away, not because I was unsure, because I wanted to hear how it sounded in the silence. She filled it, eventually. It's important, and I know you've been working so. So that word carried more weight than the rest, so you should help. So this is what you're for. I leaned back, looking at nothing in particular. For a moment, I considered saying yes. Not out of generosity, but habit. The old reflex of smoothing things over, of proving something that was never clearly defined. Then I thought about Christmas, not the day itself. The message, the absence of space for me, followed by the assumption of access to what I could provide. I'm not going to pay for it, I said. I kept my voice even, not defensive, not sharp, just clear. She didn't speak for a second. Then why? It wasn't aggressive. It sounded genuinely confused. That almost made it harder. Because we're not that kind of family, I said. The words landed differently than I expected. Not heavy. Just accurate. Another pause. What does that mean? I could have explained it, listed examples, walked her through years of small things that added up to this moment, but that would have turned it into an argument. Something to debate, reinterpret, soften. It means, I said, you don't get to leave me out of your life and still expect me to show up like nothing changed. Silence again, longer this time. I didn't rush to fill it. When she spoke, her tone had shifted, not angry, just unsettled. It's not like that. I nodded, even though she couldn't see it. I know it doesn't feel like that to you. That was as far as I went. The conversation ended without resolution. No apology, no agreement. Just a quiet stop, like both of us had reached the edge of what we were willing to say. Later that evening, my mom texted. She's upset. I read it. Put the phone down. Picked it up again. I didn't ask why. I didn't explain myself. I just replied, I understand. That was the first time I said no without trying to make it easier for anyone else. It didn't feel powerful. It felt steady, like something had finally aligned with itself. I don't know what happens next. Maybe they adjust. Maybe they don't. Maybe I become the difficult one in the story now. That part hasn't settled yet. But for the first time, it doesn't feel like something I need to fix.